Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Tuning Dylan. You got AJ Dylan here.
Hey, Will Tuner.
We got an awesome interview lined up that we just finished, and we got an awesome guest as well for episode 15 of the pod.
Yeah, super excited about this one for all my UWGB fans out there and super fans. We got Doug Gottlieb coming on the podcast. Awesome interview. Talk about life, and it's really lighthearted too. So it's a nice, easy, relaxing listen. So enjoy.
Obviously, you got the coaching job here in Green Bay, UWGB. What have you been doing in Green Bay in the meantime outside of basketball?
So I've gotten to play at Oneida twice. I'm supposed to be a member there. Josh Moon's my boss, but he knows he's got to complete the paperwork, and he's like, "Yeah, I got to get that. Dude, we got to get that done because I as much Robin Beatty's my realtor friend and kind of helped me just get integrated so much in the community." And so he's had me out there twice, but I don't like being Fletch and putting on the Underhill account. I want to go out there and put on my own account. So I've been out there twice. It's been awesome. I've been to the Iron Duck probably 10 times. 10 times. I think I've gotten to most everything on the main menu. Some things that aren't.
What's your favorite thing on the menu?
Oh, so I'm not I'm pretty strict with my diet, but I'll cheat there to go to he has some linguine with he's got some homemade pasta with cream sauce, it's ridiculous. It's so good.
Okay, I gotta go get that. That sounds the best. The linguine.
It's freaking incredible. And then the Terrace Major's steak is big time as well. So those would be my two biggest recommendations. I just learned last night that there's two types of cheese curds. I had no idea.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know. So there's the fried cheese curds, which Iron Duck has very good ones, and there's everything. And then there's the raw cheese curd. Is that right?
Yes, the ones that squeak when you bite them if they're fresh.
Where they squeak? So is it? It's just a piece of cheese?
Yeah, it's just fresh cheese.
Just mozzarella.
This is just fresh cheese.
Just not fried mozzarella sticks, pretty much.
Yeah, it's just very. It's probably the healthier.
But there's no
version
kind of cheese. It's just fresh mozzarella cheese.
What makes mozzarella,
it a curd?
Cheddar. I don't know. I should probably know this.
It's probably aged. That would be my guess.
No, because they're fresh. When they're fresh, they're squeaky.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the best cheese curd to get is one that is fresh. So one of those ones that squeak when you bite them.
Yeah.
But you deep fry the fresh ones, and then so you still get that the fresh cheese of the squeak. It's squeaky when you bite it, but it's deep fried, and that's the perfect cheese curd in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where can you?
Not a fan of the squeakies.
Horseshoe does a good job of those.
You know what? Sneaky might be a really good play. Have you been in Blue yet?
No.
They have goat cheese curds there, so just a little different type of cheese curd there.
Okay,
for you.
I'm in. So what else are we doing? So Iron Duck, golf. I went to Summerfest twice.
Oh, twice.
Who'd you see at Summerfest?
Once was an appearance. Once was to see Maroon 5 last. I don't know. My dates got lost. When you have a holiday in the middle of the week, you forget what day it is. So I think last Friday I went, saw Maroon 5. They were cool. And then just kind of sitting out my back deck and enjoying the view of the bay. As money purchase of me, I just decided I wanted a place where the guys could come over, and it's very close to campus, and it's an amazing view. And so I enjoy my sunset on the bay every night. And it's just been a very, very peaceful existence. And then obviously it's the balance of that with the kind of sort of chaos of putting together a basketball program at the same time.
Yeah, I've been loving seeing the tweeted photos of the bay and the sunset on the bay. Can't really beat that. But what is something on your Wisconsin bucket list this year?
Packer game. Never been.
All right.
Never been to Packer. Huh? Never been.
So I assume you have toured Lambeau and all of that stuff. Have you done that yet?
No, Mark Murphy showed me it. We walked in. It was kind of sealed off, whatever. He showed me the lower bowl at a coaches versus cancer event a week and a half ago. But no, I've never had the tour. I don't really want a tour. I want to actually have the players run the stadium. Well, I want to run stadiums, and then I just want to go. Yeah, leave tour.
Those stairs are steep. It's quite a workout, but it'll be a nice backdrop run through Lambeau if you guys can get that.
Right?
When do you guys think you're going to do it?
As soon as they say we can.
I like it.
We can. So
put a little prize at the top.
Yeah. Make it a red.
That'd be great training camp motivation for us. We're about to head into camp, so maybe you have the guys run while we do like a late night walkthrough. So it's like, all right, like, everybody's working. All the Green Bay is working today.
Yeah.
I like that. So those are the bucket list that, I mean, you're the mayor of Door County, so I'd like to get to Door County at some point.
I got you taken care of, whatever you need.
Big time. And then, I gotta get out some jet skis and maybe get a little wake surfing in. But until the players go home on August 12th, I'm completely locked in on getting this thing right here quickly as well as we can.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely dialed. So we got some rapid fire questions.
Light and easy. First thing that comes to your mind, just go. All right, ready? What is your cheat day meal?
Oh, well, if it's cheat day, I get to cheat the whole day, right?
All day.
I load up with my coffee becomes a lot sweeter, a lot more creamer in it, a lot more sugar in it. It's got espresso, but like I'll literally put like whipping cream in there with a little sweetener. All the way to yeah. I love smoked barbecue. I like dry rub barbecue, or I may even once a month do something fried, and then complete it with some ice cream. So
sounds like
I told you it's cheat day, not a cheat meal.
Yeah, cheat day. Yeah. No, you're doing it right.
You're right. So morning person or night person?
Night. I don't know. I mean, I'm up now.
Yeah, you gotta just pick one.
Pick one. Yeah. Night. I like
night person. Yeah. Who's one person, dead or alive, that you wish you could meet?
That was supposed to be rapid fire, putting a lot of thought in this one. John Wooden. I met John Wooden when I was a little kid. I'd love to meet him.
That'd be sick.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
That is. Texting or calling?
Texting.
What TV show are you currently watching?
Not an answer. God, I haven't watched any TV since I've been in GB.
Yeah, that's an answer.
Yeah, legit. I'm getting lots of suggestions on what I need to. I never watched Thrones. I got to do that. I've watched 2 episodes, and something else I haven't watched. Oh, I've only watched a couple episodes of Sopranos, so I think
Sopranos is great.
Both of us are Sopranos enthusiasts.
Next.
So obviously you got a lot on your plate, but do you have any secret talents?
Secret talents, yeah. I can really cook.
Okay.
Grill or
not clean, any way you want. I'm very good on the grill, any kind of grill. From like a Blackstone type of grill. I just got a Weber, to the traditional, to the smoker. Like you name it, you can grill it.
That's awesome. I've been getting into grilling a little bit this off season.
I like cooking. I like cooking.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a love language for me. People I want to be around. I like cook for them.
Well, for all the UWGB basketball team, make sure you go over to Coach's house and go get you some food.
Well, we do. We have them over every Sunday. Every Sunday we cook family dinner, and the coaches cook, and the players have to clean up.
Oh, nice. That's not a bad system for you.
Well, when they clean up, the first week they didn't clean up. So I was like, there's 13 of you. How hard is this? You get the trash, you do the water, you wipe the dishes, put them in the dishwasher, and you sweep the floor. And I was like, dude, this is not that hard. Just break up the chores. You got 13, 14 dudes. Let's get the stuff done. But they struggled a little bit week 1, week 2. They came in solid.
Hey, you have a team that responds to adversity, and they're going trending in the right direction. That's all you can ask. That's all you can ask. All right, that brings us to our second segment, how you got to where you are today. Obviously, we know that you had your playing career, a great playing career, broadcasting, now you're coaching. I guess, how did that all kind of transpire in you becoming head coach of Green Bay in the short way?
in the shortest possible way, it's just about seeing reasonable opportunities and pursuing them, and never taking no for the final answer, even when it is a final answer, and then just kind of continue to build on relationships as well. I mean, really all it was a conversation Josh Moon and I had in like February of last year when he made coaching change. And then we had coffee once. We built up a relationship. Then he asked me if I wanted to interview for the job. We went through that process. I didn't get the job. Sonny did. He did a really good job. I didn't have any sort of bitterness, you know. It was one of those weird phone calls where somebody says, hey, you're 1B and anything you can need to do. And, you know, that sounds good, but who knows how many people were 1B. But turns out apparently I was, because then when it came back around, I got a phone call and I don't think anybody else did. So I just, you know, you have to have a little bit of crazy faith in this world, in yourself and sometimes in others. If I have one flaw, it's that I believe in others, the good people a little bit too much. But I think that'll benefit me in the end, and it benefits me in this particular case.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's well said. Yeah, that's awesome. Is there, I guess, you know, what was not necessarily the hardest part, but, you know, kind of doing that transition and I'm getting the job this year, what so far has been kind of the toughest challenge or maybe
the toughest part is easy. Toughest part is
Yeah.
easy. My son's entering high school and he's going to be living in Oklahoma, and it's just going to be hard. So, but I've been kind of everything to him in terms of basketball, and really sports up until this point. And I'm sure it's on some level healthy for him to be able to spread his wings and do his own thing. On some levels, you know, I've always been kind of his support system and his workout guide, his everything. And, you know, him not being here will be difficult, but you know, it probably is better that I have my own team and my own other job, so that, you know, I don't have to hyper focus and he can be a young man and do his own thing. So that's the hardest part. The hardest part about the actual job, honestly, is there was one of my last scholarships I've given to a point guard, and I had two to choose from. And I like both kids a lot. I think both kids would be great here. And the one that I didn't choose, it hurt me. I really wanted to coach him, but you only have 13 spots and you can't have too many, redundancies. So I think that's actually been the hardest part.
Yeah, it's interesting hearing a coach's perspective on that, because as a player and coming up, you know, you're always, when you're getting recruited. And so it's like, man, like these coaches pick whoever they want. But it's really, you know, cool to hear you talk about like, well, you know, I really do like these kids. I really would love to, you know, try to help them, you know, mold into their own and stuff like that. So I have not heard that perspective from a coach as far as recruiting goes. So
yeah, I'm probably a little bit too emotional, touchy feely sort of guy. But you know, I mean, this kid's dad had passed away 3 months ago. And he's just like, you know, it's always our dream to come to the States, and he wanted practice on, we sent him some practices online, and he totally got everything we were looking for. Just can't take everybody. It was hard.
Yeah. That's a tough decision, but that kind of leads nice into my question actually of, you know, what's your recruiting approach? Because it sounds like you're going international. I mean, you're bringing people to Green Bay. That's unique. With the whole landscape of the NCAA, with the transfer portal and everything, and the conferences that are realigning, you know, what's your approach to everything and bringing in the best talent that fits well for UWGB?
You know, this part of it actually fits what my dad always did and what I've done as an AU coach, which is just go find dudes. Right, go find dudes. And yeah, our team at the end of this thing will have one from Australia, one from Israel. Where else I think where else we are internationals. Potentially one from England. We have a kid from Providence, Rhode Island, a kid from Pawtucket, Rhode Island, kid from Oklahoma City, kid from LA. We got them from all over. And then we have a good group from around here. Young one from the Twin Cities, several from the state of Wisconsin. We just got a recruited walk-on from Iowa that we really like. I mean, the great thing about Wisconsin as a state, and even Minnesota, there's not a ton of high majors that can really, really play high major basketball per year. There's good talent now, especially in the next two classes. But there's like 4 or 5 that are high majors, but there's a lot of kids at our level. A lot at our level. So we want to do both. We want to recruit the state. We want to recruit Twin Cities. We want to recruit Chicago. And then we also want to sprinkle in some international. The international kids that we brought in, there's no talk of NIL. They're not guys that want to transfer. They just want to come and play and get a college experience and get better and win games. And then, go back and play professionally, or maybe stay here and play professionally. So there's a reason that we want to do what we want to do and why we want to do it. And again, I'm trying to have the highest recidivist rate in the league eventually, which means how many kids we're going to bring. So I'm looking for kids that are good enough, but also kids that I think will be loyal to the God.
Yeah, I love to hear that. I grew up a UWGB fan. My dad actually went to Green Bay, played soccer there in the late 80s, early 90s. So when I was growing up, I grew up watching like Ryan Schochner and like Alec Brown and Kiefer Sykes, obviously. So
Sure.
It's cool. And that way, or back then it was, you went to UWGB and you really stuck it out all 4 years. So that'd be cool to see some players sticking around and, staying a big fan of them too. So, I'd like to go into a little bit about your playing career. I'm not very familiar with it, but I read up on that you actually
That was
led the
amazing.
NCAA.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Let's a little glazing here.
Incredible.
How did it lead? How did you, or not? How do you feel? But like, what was the experience of like leading the NCAA in assists and guiding your team to the Elite Eight? Like, what could you bring from that mentality of getting on a hot streak, on a winning streak like that, and bringing that to
We didn't get on a hot streak. We were fucking good.
All right, that's fair.
No, we were good. We had dudes. First thing is, like, my coach at Oklahoma State was Eddie Sutton, and God rest his soul, he's a Hall of Fame coach. But he had his expression. He said, "You'll never see a jackass win the Kentucky Derby. You get a job, go get thoroughbreds." And we had thoroughbreds. I played with really, really talented players. Look, what I could bring to the table. I had completely lost my shooting in college, my confidence in shooting, which it helps me as a coach because I understand how to coach confidence. And AJ knows this. Like, if you lose your confidence, it doesn't matter how good you are, you're never going to be able to get that out of yourself if you're not a confident player. And in basketball, kids can lose confidence in the defensive end. That can hurt them. You can lose confidence in your shooting, in your ball handling. It's really, really hard to play when you're not a supremely confident player. And I learned that from my own kind of failings, successes and failings as a player. But what was it like? It was the best. And those are my best friends, my best moments. I was married for 20 years to a woman I met during my time at Oklahoma State. That place is still very near and dear to my heart. And I want the good and the bad experiences from it. I want that for my players. If they can have anywhere near the joy and memories that I have from my college experience, then I've done my job as a college coach. But what I was a leader in every possible way, and I could really pass the ball. And the crazy part about leading the country in assists was the year I led the country in assists was actually the fewest minutes per game I played my entire career because I was in the doghouse for like eight games. And so I only played like 26 minutes a game. My freshman year at Notre Dame, I played 26 and a half. So I still led the country in assists. So if you prorate it, like, my numbers were crazy. No, I mean, I
Best
know
in the
this to be
nation.
true. There's 10 human beings that have played basketball that can pass the ball in the neighborhood of how I can pass the ball. But it also, shows what you can do without a jump shot, but how a jump shot can be without a jump shot, it can be limiting. So there's kind of a lot to it. I learned a lot from it. I processed a lot from it, and I use it to help others be successful.
Are you still an assist king when you play pickup, or are those days behind you?
No, I shoot a lot. I make up for last time. I never forget. I was with a buddy and we're playing pickup ball one time when I was in Connecticut. He's like, "Dude, I thought you used to pass." I was like, "I used to. Like I used to do a lot of things. I don't do it
things
anymore."
are behind me.
I can still, that stuff doesn't leave you. But no, I don't come into a court thinking I'm going to lead the world in assists.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess, well, going off of that, you learned a lot, throughout that process, throughout, where you are now. Has there been any piece of advice somebody's given you, or other than that, maybe a piece of advice you'd want to give to somebody, a listener maybe, who might want to kind of get into coaching, get into broadcasting, get into something, just kind of like a word of advice, a nugget or something that you kind of carried with you throughout everything?
You guys are doing what I always tell people to do who want to get into broadcasting, which is just do it. Like this world now is so different. Just like to start a podcast with a buddy, do it. And then send to somebody that you trust, and then say, "Hey, what do you think?" And then you have to be able, it's like anything, you gotta be able to take feedback. You gotta be able to take coaching. And so for broadcasting, I think it's, really, really hard profession to get into. AJ, you have a great opportunity because you're a hell of a player. So, whatever you want to, I'm sure you could do ACC network, stuff for BC. You can do Packers stuff, you can do NFL things, whatever. And for you, my advice would be to find niche, tell me, there's no running backs on TV anymore. Do you ever notice that? And one of the things, Orlovsky has kind of cracked some of the code, and I wish, TJ Hushmanzada is a good friend of mine. I wish he would do it on TV, which is, why don't we have other position players tell us, what it's really like, teach us, why some running backs are better than others. We don't know. There's some guys that think it's just a running back does it on its own. Some people think it doesn't matter. You just stick them behind the offensive line, the right scheme, the right call at the right time. Fact is that there's definitely a skill to being able to be a great running back as opposed to just an average running back. It's not about 40 time, right? So what is it? My advice to you would be the guy who teaches everybody about what makes the best running backs and what doesn't. Nobody ever breaks down on film. I know this because I'm friends with GMs. You got to be able to pass protect, right? Does anybody actually ever show the world? Because you sit there and you're like, well, he's awesome at running the football. Yeah, but in order to play in the NFL, you got to run it, you got to catch it, and then you got to block it. If you can't do all
three, they sub you out when it's time to pass.
Correct. And then you're a third down back, and you better be so good at the other things. And even then, if you can't block, right, you're in for a tough world. So the point is, though, that you have a niche right there staring you in the face that I would encourage you to use whatever platform you have to show people this is what it's about. And then as far as coaching, I've coached AAU basketball, and I do think that coaching translates. Now, you have to have a different kind of brain to understand how everything changes from AAU to Division I high-level college basketball. But I think if you have the coaching bug, then go coach. Find something that you can do. But
it's trying to get this guy.
Yeah, but if not, it's not an easy job to break into. I'm very, very fortunate. I know how lucky I am, and as lucky as I am, it is not a get rich job. If you're into coaching to get rich, it's probably not the job to get into. If you're into it to help the kids and compete on a daily basis, and you just love the process of building a team and helping players, and professional growth for kids, then I think it's a really good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely speak on that. I mean, I coached at a Division V high school receivers coach, and one conference. It was a really cool experience. But I played D3 college football, actually at St. Thomas.
Nice.
GB's played a couple
St.
times.
Thomas is a great. I mean, they got great facilities, man.
Yeah, and especially where my university is heading. I'm a proud alum, so that's been cool. But yeah, I mean, to get into coaching, I mean, you really have to take that leap, like you said. I think that's really with anything is just,
I like it. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. I mean, just do it. So
that's awesome. Well, I know we've been asking you a bunch of really thinky questions. We're gonna lighten it up again before we get into the last little segment here. And so we call this segment the Instagram deep dive. So hopefully you'll be able to see from my phone and kind of remember these are all on your Instagram here. We got this one right here. I want to know what the process is there making this shot. If you have any tips for people on how to make that.
So that's my favorite trick shot in basketball. That's my one, and I like it because it's a little bit of a core workout while you're doing it. And think the skill to it is get an overhead pass that has just the right amount of arc so it gets over the rim, and then getting to go straight. So what most people do is their strong hand comes through, or they spin it up there or whatever. So you just got to have a no spin ball and just have the trajectory be straight and get it right over the top of the rim. Then all you have about working forward in the same time.
All right.
So for the listeners, I'm going to try to describe this. So this was a sit up from the 3-point line, overhead, from his back.
It's you basically sit in your butt, and then you rock all the way back to where your shoulder blades touch the ground, and then you sit up and rock forward. At the same time, you're throwing a little overhead pass from your butt up into the hoop. And I can usually do it in 10 shots.
We're gonna go to the gym after this and try that and see if we can get one.
I like that.
All right, we got 2 more. I got to know here. So obviously, you're there with Jerry Rice. That's sick. But I'm seeing this Hennessy. Is Hennessy your drink of choice there?
He was doing a that's black Scotch, right? Is Hennessy?
Cognac.
Oh, really?
I know
I
know it, but I'm saying it's like Aaron Rodgers used to talk about Scotch and how he likes Scotch. I think Scotch tastes terrible, but I've had Scotch with Aaron.
Oh, the black Scotch.
I do not like Scotch. Anyway, it's when white people brag about their Scotch, people are like, yeah, I like that hen. So it's I call it black Scotch. Anyway, I mean, when you go to the Super Bowl and you do Radio Row, everybody has a pitch. So, but I mean, that's Jerry Rice. He's, without any question, the greatest wide receiver of all time. That's what I love about football. It's football has 5 guys. There's no argument. You can make an argument quarterback wise. You can make an argument probably running back wise. I'm a Barry Sanders guy, but I understand that other people would say Emmett. Some people would say Walter Payton. And, you picked a bunch of Marshall Faulk was groundbreaking running back, was able to catch the ball out of the backfield with the greatest show on turf. But I don't know anybody who would challenge you saying Jerry Rice, best wide receiver of all time, Ronnie Lott, greatest, safety of all time, Lawrence Taylor, you want to call it outside linebacker or rush end, whatever. He was the freakiest of freaks ever. And so that's why you anytime you get a chance to put up a picture with Jerry Rice, you do so.
Absolutely. So then the last one on the Instagram deep dive, I got to know, did you lick the gum?
I did not. That's in San Luis Obispo, California. That's that's Bubblegum Alley. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to SLO. It's amazing. San Luis Obispo is about 3 to 3.5 hours northwest of Los Angeles. If you go back an hour and a half past Santa Barbara. And my brother's first coaching job was at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. It's a really, really cool town. Really, they got Bubblegum Alley.
Alrighty, like it. Check it out later.
So I got one more basketball question. So as a fan, loved when Marquette came to town, Virginia. I was actually, it was my birthday, And me and my buddies in 5th grade stormed the court when we beat Butler. I know they were in the Horizon League at that time when they were like ranked 11 in the country. Marquette, Wisconsin, all those matchups. Any plan to bring those teams back to the Resch or a Power 5 conference team to come to the Green Bay? Because it's a hostile environment.
Yes, we will get that done. No, it will not happen.
Okay.
We will. Well, hopefully I'm still here when it does happen.
Yeah.
But if I'm not, regardless, we'll make sure we get everybody in there, get some Packer guys in there. I was wanting to get to some games last year, but we had stuff going on. But this year we're going to be
winning too many games.
Supporting the Phoenix. Going late into the year.
December 11th, we need you there. We play Milwaukee.
Okay, you guys heard it here. December 11th, pack the Resch, right? Playing the Resch? Yeah, pack the Resch. December 11th. I love it.
We're there.
All right, so pretty much kind of at the end here, but like for beyond, University of Green Bay, broader, just in like your personal and professional, is there anything else that I feel like you've already done so much? Is there anything else out there kind of like that you want to do or that you want to get into, outside of Green Bay, UWGB? What is something else you want to tap into?
In my life?
If you could. Yeah, in your life.
I don't know. This is all so new to me, and I'm enjoying it so much that I'm a more, I don't know if you guys are like this. I'm a more person. Like I always more. And, one of the things I think I've not always done a good job of, but I've done a very good job of with this and recently is just enjoying where you are and just appreciating every aspect of it. Every good day, every bad day. People ask all the time, like, well, what's the one thing you change? Nothing. You can't ask for something which is kind of a dream scenario, get that dream scenario, and then complain about the dream scenario. I mean, I know people can. We find little things to bitch complain about all the time. Let's see here. Other things I want to do. I mean, look, I want to take a team to the NCAA tournament. I think that'd be amazing. I want to win a league. I want to win a league conference tournament. I want to get to the NCAA tournament. Then I want to win a game in the NCAA tournament. And then I want to just make sure that anybody and everybody who said along the way that it either wasn't going to happen, it shouldn't happen, couldn't happen, kind of move on, give up that dream, whatever. I just want them to go, hey, my bad, you're right. I'm not doing it for that, but that's definitely a benefit to doing it. And really, you guys don't appreciate this. Okay. So the greatest compliment you can ever get from somebody when you're doing a podcast, radio, whatever was, I was listening in my car and I couldn't get out of my car because I wanted to hear how the interview went on or the next segment or whatever. I listened through an ad, in coaching, what I'd really love? I'd really love to walk into my office after a game, turn on my cell phone, and somebody who I really respect say, your team looked incredibly welcome. The ball's going to go in, not going to go in. We can't control that. But what you can control is all the other aspects of it. And so, I don't know, I just haven't gotten to that place yet to where I want my teams to be expertly prepared, properly motivated, and play the type of basketball that people really appreciate. And if you do that, you'll have success, but the real success is in having a plan, executing that plan, and getting, 18 to 22-year-old kids to abide by it.
Absolutely. I mean, you're imparting wisdom here on us. I'm writing down notes. I respect it. I don't know exactly how this quote goes, but to your point of you're in a dream scenario, it's like, you already got all the things that make you happy. That's not how the quote goes, but it's like you used to pray for things like to get to this point, and you told yourself to make you happy, and now you're wishing you could do more. And so just trying to enjoy the moment. I gotta remind myself of that sometimes too.
Look, we're kind of screwed up as men on some level in that we're so competitive and we always want more. So I want to be somebody who still wants more, still maintains that competitiveness, but also at the same time appreciates all that I have and how I've gotten here. And if you can find kind of that right, you can find that right space, I think you're in a good place. But
yeah. Absolutely. I mean, so we appreciate your time. Is there any kind of shout outs or plugs, or can you tell the listeners where, and the viewers, where they can find you? I know you obviously have your own show. Obviously the games are going to be starting up when you get to basketball season.
Coming on my basketball pod.
Yes, I'll be on the pod.
Okay, because we're going to do a deep dive.
What's it called? What's it called?
That pod's called All Ball, and that's basically storytelling, and just telling. I'll get you to. I want to tell all the important stories of your existence and how you came to be who you are, and kind of similarly, but more in a more kind of conversational tone. And in all honesty, like I stole that idea from. I know it's been done other times, but I was listening to Howard one night. I was driving. I had a game in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is Middle Tennessee State. They were good at the time. And then I had a game the next night at Western Kentucky. And it was like a 4-hour drive in between. I could have stayed in Nashville afterwards. And decided to drive right through. And I was driving through a thunderstorm, and I was listening to a Howard Stern interview with, what's her name? She sings, I'm Gonna Love You Like I'm Gonna Lose You. Meghan Trainor. And Meghan Trainor was telling her story about how she recorded her first song and about how she used to write songs for everybody else, like Chris Stapleton, same thing. And all these stars she used to write for. And I'm Gonna Love You Like I'm Gonna Lose You, she knew like one bar to it. And he had her like write out the whole song, and she worked the whole day in his offices learning how to play the song on her ukulele. And at the end of the day, she thought it was a song for somebody else. And he's like, no, I want you to record it. Famous producer, L.A. Reid. And I just couldn't stop listening to it. So much so that I actually drove into a tornado warning area. I didn't know it. And it's a real story. Like I was driving, and my wife at the time called me. She's like, where are you? And I was like, I don't know. I'm 45 minutes from Bowling Green, Kentucky. She's like, no, where specifically are you? And I told her, like, I'm on the interstate, blah, blah, blah. She's like, you're in a tornado warning. It's like, I had no idea. So I actually pulled underneath a, like an overpass, where you're supposed to be in case of a tornado. But I pulled just so the satellite radio could still get beamed kind of down, because I still had to stick out the antenna area a little bit. And I couldn't stop listening to it. And so I just thought, man, this should be great. And I have a 4-parter with Shaka Smart, which is amazing. And Shaka called me afterwards, and he was like, dude, you got to coach. Like, it's totally in you. Everything we talked about. So that's All Ball. That's available. Just download, wherever you download the podcast, type in Doug Gottlieb, All Ball. And then the Doug Gottlieb Show is daily 2 to 4 on the radio. And we have an hour podcast that goes with that as well. And you can get it on your Fox Sports Radio affiliate here in town. You can get it on your iHeartRadio app, or wherever you download podcasts, you can download podcast form. And there's also an hour podcast, like I said, with it. So that's just called the Doug Gottlieb Show. You type in Doug Gottlieb, you can get it.
Awesome. Well, you guys know where to find them. Make sure you guys definitely check it out. Now we have another aspiration. We need to make sure that we got people driving into tornadoes while listening to Tooth and Dylan.
There you go.
Man, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot going on. You wear a lot of hats. Yeah, really appreciate your time. And hopefully we can chop off some of the, or knock out some of the bucket list things for you, at least in Wisconsin.
All right, good. I'm coming to Door County, and I'm taking you up on that wake surfing lesson. Those things are
awesome.
All right, that's all good.
Appreciate you, man. And as always,
oh yeah, tune into Dylan.
That's at the end. And as always, tune into Dylan.